Huh?
See the risk of not putting on the mic before. Can you help me to come to this one again? This demonstrates to you that in life there's always risk. You never know what can or will happen. Okay, thanks. Risk management used to be what we call the sleepy subject in the universities. For a long time, in the so-called risk management classes, nobody would opt for them. I read recently that you can sell your elective to make money. So the risk management, nobody wants that. People pay money for people to take the class. But after the financial crisis, as you heard, our Dennis Chua, who's chairman of our students subcommittee talked about in the video. All of a sudden, after the last financial crisis, everybody is talking about risk management. Why? Because people realize that this is the worst crisis in the last 60 years. And going forward, the keyword today is risk. Because if you don't manage risk, you never know what's going to happen. Now, have you ever wondered, since I've been asked to talk about managing investment risk today, and I want to thank Dennis for doing up the slides for me. Right? Because normally when I speak, don't have slides on, so they know lah. So they make these slides for me. Have you ever wondered, the universities teach investment, right? You have so many textbooks on investment. All your professors are suddenly expert on investment. You have all your advisors. Then how is it that the statistics show you that most people invest lose money? Have you wondered, does it seem right? Are all the professors wrong? Are all the textbooks wrong? But the answer really is most likely. Otherwise, the account cannot be so bad. But first, let's get down to the statistics on investment. How many people make money or lose money on investing in Singapore? The answer is nobody knows. Why? Singapore does not publish statistics like in the United States of investment returns for retail investors. The last data we ever have on investment success or failure was the CPFIS or CPF investment scheme data from 1993 to 2004. That data showed that after the first 11 years of the CPFIS, 75% of people who invested their CPF did not even beat the 2.5% interest on the ordinary account. 1 year, 11 years on. For stock investors, the average loss after 11 years was 35%. Not 1 year lost 35%, after 11 years still lost 35%. So if we use the CPF statistics as an indicator of what the cash investment statistics may be like, then most Singaporeans must be not very successful in investing. Now I mentioned this is the last statistic available. Why? Since 2005, this statistic has disappeared, doesn't come out anymore. Well, we guess when statistics disappear in Singapore, right? Maybe because it got worse. So, let's go to the first slide. My initial thoughts that I'd like to share with you is, when you do investing, firstly you have to burn all your textbooks, throw away all the notes that your professors have given to you, right? Because in real life, they don't work. If they do, let me give you another example. Many of your classmates who have graduated are working in the financial services sector, right? They work in banks, they work in financial advisors, they work in stockbrokers. You go check around. What is the turnover for people who work in the financial services sector who give advice on investment to the public? The turnover is about 90%. In other words, 100 people who join the industry, whose job is to advise people how to invest. Well, your bank not very advanced, and this thing is doesn't allow me to walk around. Okay, don't mind. 90% turnover. So it's obvious that the investment advice that they must be giving must be very bad, right? Otherwise, they should be happily earning a lot of money, getting promoted, and so on, right? So clearly, there are a lot of problems when it comes to investing. So burn away your textbooks, throw away your notes from your professors, but please don't go and tell your professor I told you this now. Okay? So let's see if this thing works. Okay. I'm just reading this because I'm seeing these slides for the first time today. When Danny sent this to me, I was in Vietnam, courtesy of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, representing Singapore at the ASEAN People's Forum. So, I was having my iPad. Yeah, one problem I realized your iPad cannot open PowerPoint. So that's the risk whenever you buy anything new. So, what is Danny talking about today? My aspirations is to be a world-class engineer, psychologist. What does investing have to do with me? No matter what occupation you are in, if you don't make your money work harder, then your money is not growing. How many of you have bank accounts? Please raise your hands. Okay. Those who don't raise your hand, either to understand English, okay? Everybody got their hand raised. What interest rate is the bank paying on the savings account today? Sir, you know? 0 point something is 0.1 to 0.125%. So at 0.1%, how long will it take for your money to double in the bank? The answer is 720 years. You have studied the rule of 72, right? Rule of 72 means you take 72, you divide by the rate of return, you know how long it takes for your money to double. So 72 divided by 0.1 is 120 years. So you said, never mind, I put my money in a fixed deposit, I get 1%. Actually, Singapore now, you cannot get 1%. At the most, you get 0.8. Let's say 1%. So it takes 2 years for your money to double. What is the historical inflation rate in Singapore? 2%. So if inflation is 2%, and your money is not growing at more than 2%, your money is getting smaller all the time. So no matter what occupation you are in, you have to make your money work harder, right? But here's the fundamental problem. Most people don't have money to work harder. Why? After you pay for your HDB flat, you pay your mortgage, you pay your food, you pay everything, very little money left. Where is the most of the money? Where has most of the earnings go to? Most of your earnings go to your CPF. As of 1st September, your CPF contribution is 35% of your salary. Singaporeans contribute the highest pension contribution in the world at 35%. So the key here you realize is, hey, since most people don't have a lot of cash after spending, making ends meet, they have to make the CPF work harder, right? So what's the problem? What's the interest that you get on CPF? Ordinary account, 2.5%. What's the interest that you get in your MediSave and special account? Well, it's no longer 4% because from 1st January 2008, the special and MediSave rate has been unpacked and is now pegged to the average yield of the 10-year government bond. By the way, since 1st January 2008, the 10-year government bond yield has always been below 2%. So, if it's less than 3 plus 1, if this continues going forward, then your special and MediSave account rate may even be less than 4. The guarantee has been extended to the end of this year. So by the end of this year, it's less than 4, you still get 4 because it has always been less than 4 since the unpegging of the rate. So come 1st January next year, the floor rate on your special and MediSave account will be 2.5%. Of course, the first 60,000 you